A Bannister post, thank you for a $7 Canadian. Please, with all this control link talk, what are go-to, reliable, well-built ExpressLRS receivers in your opinion? I think that Happy Model has a pretty good track record. I have heard of some people having problems with the new Diversity Happy Models, but I'm not sure if that's actual problem or if it's just something, one person with a problem. I think the Radio Master receivers are solid. I've had good results with the Jumper receivers. Just because the Jumper receivers come in all the Jumper... If you think about it, Jumper puts their own Jumper ExpressLRS receiver in all their bind and flies. So, yeah, they probably got that pretty right. Those are some good ones. Not the only ones, but some good ones. Maytech, very good. Maytech makes good stuff too. Scamper says Happy Model 20% failure rate for me. Yeah, I wonder if Happy Model has fallen off a little bit. I have a friend who builds quads professionally, and he is thinking about switching to ExpressLRS for some of his builds, and he bought like 3 or 4 Happy Model EP1 receivers, and he couldn't get them to bind. And I got on the phone with him for like 45 minutes and tried to help talk him through it. Couldn't get him to bind. And finally, he came back to me a little while later and he was like, yeah, dude, 3 of those receivers were just bad. It wouldn't bind. I put the 4th one on and it worked fine. So Happy Model may be dropping off. Race Day Quads, Jumper, Maytech. That guy Carlos says Beta FPV have been solid. I just am really hesitant about relying on Beta FPV hardware. Steve Tricks, I can assure you he didn't brick them. I mean, I was working with him. They weren't bricked. They weren't in bootloader mode. They just wouldn't bind. Like, it was mine. I was like, bro, I don't know. Why? I don't know. And we were like, well, maybe try a new receiver. Because if you have one and it won't bind and you try everything, you try a new one and maybe it's bad. And then the second one wouldn't bind. And I was like, dude, I don't know. It's something you're doing. Happy Model has never been premium quality Aerobrat, but their ExpressLRS receivers have been pretty solid.
This might be a good time to chime in. If you do have binding issues, don't forget there is that issue where you need to go to the web UI and set your binding phrase if it's been done before, because otherwise you'll go crazy thinking you're reflashing the correct binding phrase, but it will not work.
That's true. I have changed my procedure for how I tell people to bind, and I now tell them to go to the web UI and type the binding phrase. I don't tell them to flash, in part for that reason.
I'm doing the same thing now.
Yep. Okay.